Most people are rushing to pay off every single penny of debt they owe. But while you are trying to reach zero, the wealthy are actually rushing to acquire more debt. Smart people know how to use debt to get richer because they use debt to buy real assets. To understand this, we first have to break the biggest rule you were taught, that all debt is evil. There is a massive difference between bad debt and good debt, and understanding it can make or break your financial future. Bad debt is anything that puts money in someone else's pocket while making you poor. This includes credit cards used for vacations, car loans you can't afford, or financing furniture. This type of debt charges you interest for the privilege of owning things that lose value over time. It is essentially borrowing from your future self to pay for a lifestyle you can't afford today. On the other hand, good debt is money borrowed to acquire assets that appreciate in value or generate income. The key distinction is that good debt makes you money over time, while bad debt costs you money over time. When you use debt to buy real estate, you are using fake money to buy a real asset. The debt loses value due to inflation, but the house typically goes up in value. This allows you to use leverage, controlling a massive asset with very little of your own money. For example, if you have $100,000, you could use that as down payments on 4 properties worth $80,000 each. You now control $320,000 worth of real estate with your original investment. If those properties appreciate by just 5% annually, you earn that growth on the full $320,000, not just your cash. That is a $16,000 gain on your $100,000 investment, which is actually a 16% return. This is called using OPM or other people's money, and it's how you optimize for cash flow rather than just net worth. You might put down $6,500 of your own money to buy a $200,000 property. If that property doubles in value, you've made a massive return with almost no risk to your own capital. But there is another hidden benefit to keeping this debt that almost nobody talks about: inflation. When the government prints money, the rich get richer because assets go up in value. Meanwhile, the poor and middle class get hammered because inflation kills their purchasing power. But if you have fixed-rate debt, like a mortgage, inflation is actually working in your favor. As the cost of everything goes up, the real value of your debt payment goes down over time. You are paying back the bank with cheaper dollars in the future, effectively getting paid to borrow money. This is why smart people don't rush to pay off low-interest mortgages. They invest the difference instead. If you have a 3% or 4% mortgage and can earn 10% in the stock market, paying off the mortgage makes no mathematical sense. So, how do you actually apply this if you aren't already rich? It starts with a mindset shift. You have to stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like an owner. Most people pay everyone else first: their landlord, the car dealer, the restaurant, then try to save whatever's left at the end of the month. But the problem is, life has a way of filling up every space you leave open, so there is usually nothing left. Wealthy people pay themselves first, treating their savings and investments as the most important bill they owe. This discipline comes before the income. If you can't save on a small salary, you won't suddenly start saving when you make more. Now let's look at the math that keeps the middle class broke. They are terrified of debt, even when it's cheap. If you have a mortgage at 3% or 4%, but the stock market pays you 10%, paying off that mortgage makes absolutely no mathematical sense. You are taking money that could earn 10% and using it to eliminate a cost of only 4%. The rich use debt as fake money to acquire real assets, knowing that the debt stays fixed while the asset grows. This is crucial because every time the government prints money, the rich get richer while the poor get hammered. When bad money enters the system, the rich buy assets like real estate and land, so they win as prices rise. Meanwhile, the poor and middle class try to hoard cash, which is actually losing value every single day due to inflation. If you just keep your money sitting in a bank account earning nothing, you are guaranteed to lose purchasing power. A $100,000 salary a few years ago has the same buying power as $124,000 today. So if you haven't gotten a massive raise, you just lost 25% of your money by standing still. This is why you must invest. You cannot save your way to wealth if your currency is dying. You need to start seeing every dollar as a worker you send out into the world to capture more dollars. Most people send their worker dollars away to pay for things they don't need, leaving them with no employees left. But if you keep those workers, they build more workers, and eventually, you have an army fighting for your freedom. This is the power of compound interest, which works best when you start early and leave it alone. If you invest consistently, the first $100,000 is the hardest, but it gets easier because you're 1/3 of the way to $1 million. That sounds crazy, but the math shows that going from $0 to $100,000 takes way longer than going from $100,000 to $1 million. Once you hit that critical mass, your money starts making more money than you can save from your paycheck. So, stop trying to look rich by buying liabilities like luxury cars or expensive clothes to impress people. Rich is what you see: cars and clothes, but wealth is what you don't see: savings and investments. The goal is to be wealthy, not just to look rich. Now that we know we need to buy assets, which ones actually build this kind of leverage. The first asset class that wealthy people love for leverage is real estate, which has created more millionaires than any other asset class in history. You can use a strategy called house hacking, where you buy a 2 to 4 unit multifamily home, live in one unit, and rent the others out. By doing this, your tenants pay off your mortgage while you build equity, essentially letting you live for free while the asset appreciates. This is the ultimate form of good debt because you are using the bank's money to secure an asset that generates cash flow immediately. If you don't want to deal with tenants, the next tier of assets is owning your own business, which accounts for over 70% of millionaires. A profitable business pays you twice, first through steady cash flow, and later when you sell it for a multiple of its earnings. And if you prefer a hands-off approach, you simply buy the market through low-cost index funds, which have historically returned about 10% annually. You don't have to outsmart anyone. You just sit still while time compounds your money, turning $10,000 into $150,000 over 40 years. However, you must respect the risks, because leverage amplifies both gains and losses. If you borrow to buy assets that crash, you still owe the debt, which is why the wealthy prioritize cash flow to cover those debt payments. The goal isn't to take on debt recklessly, but to use it to buy time and freedom. Remember, money buys you control over your time, which is the highest dividend money pays. So, stop trying to look rich by spending money you don't have on things you don't need. True wealth is what you don't see. It's the investments compounding in the background while you sleep. You need to shift your identity from a consumer who spends to an owner who invests. Start by tracking your net worth monthly, because what gets measured gets improved. When you see your net worth rise despite having debt, you realize the strategy is working. Eventually, your assets will generate enough income to cover your living expenses, and that is when you are truly free. So, here is your action step. Audit your debt today and categorize it into good versus bad. Eliminate the bad debt that drains you and look for opportunities to acquire good debt that pays you. If you want to learn exactly which assets belong in your portfolio to build this financial fortress, watch this video next.